want to acknowledge Richard. The mysteries of the Unity sound system is that it works perfectly before the service, and then Richard calmly gets to say, it was working a minute ago. So, yeah, Okay. Well, welcome to Unity of Fort Collins. So glad to see you this morning. Welcome to any visitors we have today. If you would like a welcome packet, we've got folks ready to plunk one in your hand. So if you raise your hand, you will receive a gift from the universe right in your hand. Anyone? No gifts from the universe? Okay. Welcome to those who are online this morning. We're so happy to have you. Today's our first service in February, and we are beginning our process of selecting a new music leader, and Gerald is going to share that process a little.
Is it safe? You can all look in your bulletins and find an extra piece of paper that says Music Director Survey. And 3 times this month, we are going to have candidates for the music director position. And our first candidate, after careful consideration and interview, and Talia Hines deserves extra credit. Yours truly put on a movie night on Friday night and took the key to the sound booth and put it in my coat pocket, and it was also the key to the piano, and I didn't know it till this morning. And do you know she can climb? She got in the booth and saved us already. So there's already points involved here. There was no ladder. All right, so our process was we put out a call to those who would like to be music directors here, and we have 3 candidates. We have Talia Hines, we have John Magny, and we have Elise Wonder. And today, Talia will share her gifts. Next week, we got a break. Next week, Justin Roth will be sharing his wonderful guitar playing as long as he stays healthy. We've had him twice. He was going to come. Once it was COVID, and the other was the flu. And so pray for him. And on the 19th, John Magny and company will be here. And then on the 26th, Elise Wonder will be here. And we will get your input on all candidates. And at the end of that time, we will choose one, some, or all. We'll see what we can work out. But that's how it works. You're a big part of it. Thank you all for coming.
Yay, thank you. If you will look at the back wall, Janice Ballard's collages are back there, along with some of her poetry. Just sweet. So if you have a chance, go take a poke. And thanks to Gloria for having shared your talents with us last month. This after church, today after church, Sharon is meeting with the prayer chaplain. So if you're one of the prayer chaplain group, would you hang out for a little bit? Nancy Hughes is doing an Axioms workshop, so there were lots of folks who were interested in learning more about her topic, so see your bulletin if you'd like more of what Nancy has to offer. Saturday, February 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Joel Goldsmith book study taking a 2-week break, resuming February 23rd with a new book, The Art of Meditation. Contact Gloria Willis if you're interested in joining that group. Youth program is growing, changes are underway. We're looking for a teen leader, a volunteer with the younger kids, and someone to be in the nursery twice a month. So if you're interested in helping with the little lights, contact Denise or Stacy. Opening for a new council member starting in February. We'll select that person after the annual meeting. Annual meeting is Sunday, February 19th. So, all right, let's go ahead and, yes. Yes, please, Nancy.
One thing I wanted to say, whoa, before I fall, that I wanted to say about the workshop is that if you would sign up for it, it is next Saturday, but I would like to kind of know how many people might be interested in doing that and attending that. And everybody's welcome, of course. The other thing I wanted to mention is that in the kids' class for the month of March, we're going to be talking about the tapestry of life. And I'd love if anybody could bring magazines that the kids can cut out pictures and we make some collages and different things. If you can think about doing that over the next couple of weeks, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. All right, let's take a big old deep breath and join in our unity centering prayer. Our unity centers us in light and peace, allowing us to recognize our God within and to radiate that love to the world. Thank you.
Good morning, beautiful souls. Good morning. Namaste. Happy Sunday on this full moon in Leo. It's just a great time. I think it's a great day for me to be doing this. And the first song that I chose was I Release and Let Go, because the topic is on surrender and letting go. And I just think it's such a great energy for this time, this transition of seasons and everything. So I do want to do a really brief grounding exercise before we start. So I invite you to close your eyes and just center yourself and breathe in. And when you exhale, I want you to visualize a cord going either from the bottom of your spine or the bottom of your feet, whatever feels comfortable, all the way down into the center of Mother Earth, into her molten lava core, and just release any tension, any stress, anything. Relax your jaw, relax your face and your ears, your neck, your shoulders, and just let it all drain down to Mother Earth. That way we're nice and grounded, and she takes that energy and she just transmutes it. She needs it, and you don't need it. You can just let it go. And when you're finished, you can open your eyes, and that cord will be there for you to just release whenever you need to. And I need you to help me now on this I Release and Let Go song, because we're going to do it a cappella, and if you guys want to do some harmonies, that would be really fun too, okay? So there are the words. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit fill my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more trouble, no more strife. With my faith I've seen the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit fill my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more trouble, no more strife. With my faith I've seen the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. One more time. Yes, I'm only here for God. Thank you. Thank you. I love your beautiful voices. That was great. Namaste.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Jenny Hout, and I'm going to do the morning's reading. And the reading is Sin Sin Ming, and it's verses on the faith mind, translated by Richard Clark. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. When love and hate are both absent, everything becomes clear and undisguised. Make the smallest distinction, however, and heaven and earth are set infinitely apart. If you wish to see the truth, then hold no opinions for or against anything. To set up what you like against what you dislike is the disease of the mind. When the deep meaning of things is not understood, the mind's essential peace is disturbed to no avail. The way is perfect, like vast space, where nothing is lacking and nothing is in excess. Indeed, it is due to our choosing to accept or reject that we do not see the true nature of things. The more you talk and think about reality, the further astray you wander from the truth. Stop talking and thinking. And there is nothing you will not be able to know. But to pursue appearances is to miss the source. At the moment of inner enlightenment, there is a going beyond appearances and emptiness. The changes that appear to occur in the empty world we call real only because of our ignorance. Do not search for the truth, only cease to cherish opinions. To live in the great way is neither easy nor difficult, but those with limited views are fearful and irresolute. The faster they hurry, the slower they go. And clinging cannot be limited. Even to be attached to the idea of enlightenment is to go astray. Just let things be in their own way, and there will be neither coming nor going. Obey the nature of things, your own nature, and you will walk freely and undisturbed. When thought is in bondage, the truth is hidden, for everything is murky and unclear, and the burdensome practice of judging brings annoyance and weariness. What benefits can be derived from distinctions and separations? If you wish to move in the one way, do not dislike even the world of senses and ideas. Indeed, to accept them fully is identical with true enlightenment. For the unified mind, in accord with the way, all self-centered striving ceases. Doubts and irresolutions vanish, and life in true faith is possible. With a single stroke, we are freed from bondage, nothing clings to us, and we hold to nothing. All is empty, clear, self-illuminating, with no exertion of the mind's power. Here, thought, feeling, knowledge, and imagination are of no value. In this world of suchness, there is neither self nor other than self. Words, the way is beyond language, for in it there is no yesterday, no tomorrow, and no today.
All right, that was so beautiful. I think I was just talking with some of my sisters about emptiness and just really singing that emptiness. I love it. So with this song, this is my harmonium, and I really wanted to sing a song that talks about the God within and just surrendering to that. So it's Ong Namo, and it means I bow to the divine wisdom of all that is, and Guru Dev Namo, which is I bow to the divine teacher within, and it's up on there. So when I sing this chant, I want you guys to sing along with me. It's really beautiful. So it starts, Om Namo Guru Dev Namo Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. It's beautiful. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Now I'll do a verse. I bowed my head to God, and God took hold of me. Every imperfection, God took hold of me. And every day God lives and breathes through me. Looking in the mirror, I love you, sweet God. Oh, my beloved, the kindness of the heart, breath of life, I bow to you. Divine teacher, beloved friend, I bow to you again and again. See the lotus sitting on the water, beyond time and space. This is your way. This is your grace. Sing with me. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo with your heart. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. One more time. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Good job. And this is your way. And this is your grace. And this is your way. And this is your grace.
I don't think I want to speak after that. That was great. Thank you, Talia. And thank you, Jenny. Oh, you did an awesome job on that reading. That was all great. So my talk today is on letting go, the pathway of surrender. And I'm sharing it because this practice has truly had a profound and transformative impact on my life, on my stress level, on my peace of mind, on my happiness. I enjoy life way more when I'm not resisting it and trying to control every single second of it. So let's start with a foundational truth that our only reason for being here is to grow spiritually. It's great if along the way we get the nice car and the cushy job and the trophy husband. but that's not why we're here. We took a human form to have life be our classroom, life with a capital L, for life to be our teacher. So really all of our life is our spiritual path, every experience, every moment. In reality, there's not spiritual time and non-spiritual time. We're always spirit first, having a human experience. But we block that awareness of our spiritual nature by our tendency to cling, resist, and negatively react to people, places, and things of this world. By surrendering those blocks, our true radiant nature stands revealed. There's no further effort needed to be what we are. Although at the final doorway, we will all make this ultimate surrender, the surrender of our very life to God, today I'll be discussing the day-to-day surrenders of all our triggers, our negative emotions and thoughts, our likes and dislikes, preferences, and judgments about how it should be. I want to emphasize that these are not bad. They're natural human responses, but they don't serve us. And as I've said, they actually block us from evolving spiritually and experiencing our true nature, so we willingly let them go as they arise. A fully surrendered state is one where we don't want anything to be different. We stop judging anything as wrong or bad, as needing changing or fixing. These are all ego ideas. Instead, we allow all to be as it is, exactly as it is. Lost my place. So when we're fully surrendered, we're coming from our true self with a capital S, which is already at peace, in joy, and in love. We exist in a field of infinite divine love where literally everything is working for our good, for our growth, for our awakening. Life is for us. Everything unfolds in life exactly as it should, no matter what it looks like, so that we can learn what we came here to learn. With that context, then, it's understandable that we're told to wear the world like a loose garment. Everything here is transitory. It arises and disappears. What we stay passionate for and centered in is God, not the world. And yet we are very attached to the world, aren't we? And we're very passionate about our opinions of it. You may not realize it, but most of us are resisting what is happening almost all the time. Just notice your mind throughout the day. We're often reacting to things in us and around us, trying to change and fix everything and everybody with our opinions, our judgments, our preferences. That person's driving too slow. It's too hot in here. You didn't load the dishwasher right. I hate my body. I'm so over winter. And of course, the all-time favorite, the toilet paper gets hung this way, not that way. Right? We just end up irritated and resentful and anxious and more. As Ginny read, Seng San says, the way is not difficult for those without preferences. But the real problem with preferences, which are usually more like demands, is that we've exaggerated the value of them. We think our opinions are very special and important, the right ones, worthy of respect. So we get very attached to them. So it's not really the actual opinion or preference that's the problem. No, our suffering comes from our attachment to them. And our attachment arises because we erroneously think that getting things to be the way we want them to be out there will result in our happiness. So it feels as if our happiness is threatened if we don't get what we want or things don't go the way we think they should. But we're actually blocking our happiness by putting conditions on it. If we say things like, oh, I'll only be happy if I get that job or that relationship or that car, we set ourselves up for unhappiness that way. However, if we decide to be happy no matter the outcome and see that our happiness is an inner choice, well, now we have a real happiness that no one can take from us. To be clear, we can have all the likes and dislikes we want. We just have to be willing to not let them be satisfied. To let them not be satisfied. I said that backwards. To be willing to be okay when things aren't the way we decided they should be. We can tell we're not surrendered and we're stuck in resistance if we see ourselves worrying, being controlling, judgmental, righteous, resentful. There's no peace without surrender. As my spiritual teacher, Dr. David Hawkins, teaches, peace comes with total surrender to what is. Surrender can be described by many names: openness, neutrality, acceptance, non-resistance, letting go, allowing, even welcoming. Whichever aspect we focus on, it all allows us to willingly participate in life's dance with a quiet mind and an open heart. That's from Michael Singer's book, The Surrender Experiment. This book and Letting Go by Dr. Hawkins have been really inspiring resources for me on how to be surrendered to the wisdom of life and find unconditional peace and happiness. By the way, they're both in the bookstore if it interests you to pick one up. And there's also some bookmarks that I made as my gift to you. They are quotes by Dr. Hawkins. So they're in the bookstore. You don't have to pay for them, though. They're a gift. So feel free to pick one up after the service. But back to Michael Singer's book, this is about his own life experiment with surrender. He describes his process as you let go of the personal reactions of like and dislike that form inside your mind and your heart. And instead, you allow your life to be guided by a much more powerful force, life itself. He relates all the incredible experiences he had as a result of his experiment. For example, he ended up owning $1 billion business that he never sought after. It really all just unfolded. And then overnight, it was wiped out by a disgruntled employee who falsely claimed to be a whistleblower. But throughout it all, Michael kept surrendering, and he stayed at peace. So it's just an inspiring book because it shows how surrender works in a huge array of life situations and how powerful a tool that it is. One of the core lessons that he shares is it's not life's events that are causing problems or stress. It's your resistance to life's events that are causing problems or stress. And we resist these things in our lives and create this stress in ourselves because we've created some ideal in our mind about how everything should be. And when it's not, we haven't learned to be okay with that. Life is going to unfold on life's terms, not ours. And this is actually good news. Learning to stop resisting what is and to accept every moment that life presents to us just as it is what Michael Singer calls the highest spiritual pathway. trying to click my slide now. Yep. As Dr. Hawkins puts it, if all life experiences are surrendered as they occur, they become transformed by gratitude into the miraculous and seen as gifts. You see, we believe that life is supposed to even out, that at some point, if we try hard enough, if we're good enough, and if we get things to line up just the way we want, then we will mostly experience a smooth life. But life's real essence is ebb and flow. Stocks go up and then they go down. People come into our lives and then they leave. Diseases come and go. If we surrender to this truth, accept it as the real normal, then we can find a peace in every moment. The Buddhist teacher Pema Chodron says, the peace we're looking for is not peace that crumbles as soon as there is difficulty or chaos. The way to experience inner peace is to build on the foundation of unconditional openness to all that arises. Peace isn't an experience free of challenges, free of rough and smooth. It's an experience that's expansive enough to include all that arises without feeling threatened. In the Letting Go book by Dr. Hawkins, he points out how through letting go, we can release ego's negativity all the time, in any place and with any event. We can always feel free and happy and never be cornered by our feelings again. As he says, you're then in charge of how you feel, and you're no longer at the mercy of the world and your reactions to it. The Indian teacher Nisargadatta Maharaj says, the world is made of rings. The hooks are all yours. Make straight your hooks, and nothing can hold you. So being surrendered allows us full participation in and full enjoyment of life without the hooks and triggers. Feelings and reactions will still always arise, but we learn to let them go and stop getting caught up in them. Just the other day, I ran across some wonderful examples of surrender by Jack Kornfield. He says, if you can sit quietly after difficult news, if in financial downturns you remain perfectly calm, if you can see your neighbors travel to fantastic places without a twinge of jealousy, if you can fall asleep after a day of running around without a pill or a drink, if you can always find contentment just where you are, you're probably a dog. Yeah, right? Dogs are happy all the time with whatever's going on. So the most practical definition I can leave you with about surrender is to be like a dog. To just be at peace with whatever's unfolding and stop fighting with it. Think of that. It would mean the end of struggling and trying and seeking. Ugh, what a relief. So in letting go, Dr. Hawkins says, the beauty of surrender is it has immediate benefits, and there's nothing to acquire, learn, or remember. When we release whatever is causing us suffering, we're free. True surrender, then, is deeply experiential. It's not an intellectual exercise at all. As Dr. Hawkins points out in this quote, when we truly let go of a feeling, we experience the benefits immediately. We feel lighter. Our breathing slows. We calm down. We feel happier, more loving, and more easygoing. So let's talk about some of the steps of surrender. One of the first steps in letting go is just noticing. You just notice that something's coming up in you, a thought or a feeling, a reaction or a preference. Then you sit back into the witness, relax, and just watch it to see what it's about. The emotions may still be swirling and churning, but you just relax and observe. This brings you into the stillness behind the emotions, back to the true self, where all is already calm and peaceful. In letting go, Dr. Hawkins says the essential next step then is to just be with whatever is coming up. We allow ourselves to have the feeling without trying to make it any different, without analyzing it. We don't fear it. We don't condemn it. We don't vent it. We see that it's just a feeling. We see that whatever just happened to create the reaction is just an event. He says, let go of wanting to resist the feeling. It's resistance that keeps the feeling going. A feeling that's not resisted will disappear as the energy behind it dissipates. I'm sure you all know the old adage, take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning. But this is a great analogy. So many things resolve themselves. We think we have to act now, do something now, fix it now. But we really just need to be still a while and let go and watch the amazing unfolding happen. We find that synchronicity happens. People come to us to help, or they make a seemingly random comment that provides exactly the direction we needed. As the Beatles song says, there will be an answer, let it be. To clarify, though, surrender is not passivity or detachment. We just stop deciding in advance how it has to be for us to be okay. Dr. Hawkins says, on the contrary, surrendering will clear the decks for effective action, because we more commonly act from reaction, emotionality, and stress, which doesn't usually produce the best results. But when we surrender, we're no longer blocking the inflow of divine wisdom with our worry, our judgment, our defensiveness. The presence can flow through us, and the answer or guidance that we need can reach us. In fact, often we find that when we release our reaction, we see that there wasn't really a problem. Our reaction was the problem. Surrender also isn't about turning negative thoughts and emotions into positive ones. This is because letting go is not about the what you're releasing. Remember I said you can have all the likes and dislikes you want. It's about the process. So letting go doesn't mean we wrestle with our thoughts and try to change them. Let's use weather as an example. If you don't like snow or cold or rain or whatever, to let it go, you don't have to make yourself like it. You just stop resisting it. Stop calling it bad or wrong. Stop grumbling every time it's not your favorite weather. Now you're no longer causing yourself suffering over it. As Michael Singer says, you gain nothing by being bothered by life's events. It doesn't change the world. You just suffer. It's been helpful for me to ask myself, would I rather hold on to this negativity, this irritation, this judgment, or do I want to know God, peace, and joy? I can't have both. As Dr. Hawkins says, every emotional experience is an opportunity to go up or down. Which do we choose? That is the confrontation. We have the opportunity to choose whether we want to hang on or let go of emotional upsets. We can look at the cost of hanging on to them. Do we want to pay the price? The choice we make will determine our future. So if we're truly aiming for enlightenment, spiritual growth, returning to source, then we will choose to surrender the blocks, these reactive emotions as they arise. It's also been helpful for me to be curious in a situation and ask, what does the divine presence have in store for me here? What's really unfolding? Where is this leading me? That makes facing our challenges a little more exciting. As Michael Singer relates in the Surrender Experiment, I had seen time and again that letting go not only led to amazing results, but it also left me in a state of profound inner peace. He says, where'd my slides go? What are all those? Nancy, can you, there it is, hold on, I see it. I don't know where, I must have double clicked or something, sorry everybody. Michael Singer says, I was not in charge, life was in charge, and there was an underlying sense of enthusiasm and excitement about getting to see what was going to happen next. There was a time in my own life when I had 3 huge changes on the horizon. My mom, who I loved dearly, was dying. My daughter, who I loved dearly, was a year from going to college, and I was getting ready to close my business. I was scared and having all kinds of preferences and resistances and opinions. So I started out a bit stuck, of course, in I don't want to deal with any of this, and how am I going to get through all of it? But then I learned to ask myself, I wonder what miracles God has in store for me to walk through these challenges. And that did open the way for Spirit to help me move more easily through all of it. You know, much of our resistance to life's events is because we don't see them as they are in truth. That's from A Course in Miracles. And that's because we project out there ideas that we've picked up that color everything that we see. Our ego's positions are flawed. They're flawed by limited perception, human conditioning, our culture, our brain physiology. So our seeing is faulty and limited. And with humility, one of the cornerstones to surrender, we can honestly admit that we don't have the capacity to see things from the highest perspective as part of a divine wholeness. It's a very powerful thing to realize and admit, I don't know. Dr. Hawkins says, traditionally, the relinquishment of the ego's programs has been described as arduous and difficult, taking many lifetimes to accomplish. But on the contrary, a profound humility and the willingness to surrender all to God at great depth make it possible for the transition to occur in a split second. Once we humbly realize our perception is faulty, we'll naturally stop telling God how we think it needs to be and realize that divine intelligence is at the helm, is guiding us, is unfolding our Earth School curriculum perfectly for our soul's maximum evolution all the time. A Course in Miracles says, what could you not accept if you but knew that everything that happens, all events, past, present, and to come, are greatly planned by one whose only purpose is your good? This includes events that trigger us and challenge us. We have to go through experiences that trigger us because they show us where we're blocked and where we need healing and growth. So these experiences aren't random and without purpose, quite the opposite. The poet Rumi points this out in his verse, "If God said, Rumi, pay homage to everything that has helped you enter my arms, there would not be one experience of my life, not one thought, not one feeling, not any act that I would not bow to." As we say here every Sunday, wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And the unity principle states, God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. There's no exceptions to this truth. So even when we look at the world, for example, we can still see divine order. I know we often hear the world is such a mess. It's become the accepted attitude that the world is broken and needs fixing. But Dr. Hawkins teaches that this attitude is, again, based on the ego's perception, and a faulty one, that the world is actually perfect as it is and does not need fixing. He reminds us that God created everything, God is everything. God has not left the building. And since God can't create imperfection or be imperfect, then the world must be perfect, even sacred and beautiful. Well, then how do we reconcile that with what we see out there? It sure doesn't look like it's perfect. Well, the clue is in the word look. Who is doing the looking? It's the limited small self. You know, if our only purpose for being here is to grow spiritually, and if the world is our classroom, then if it were the kind of perfect world that everybody dreams about, no wars, hunger, crime, this would be a celestial field, and there would be nothing to learn here. How do we learn patience unless we experience frustration? How do we grow in compassion unless we face a tragedy or betrayal? We learn tolerance when we see the dead-end nature of conflict. We learn forgiveness by getting hurt. So isn't the world perfect for that purpose? As I said earlier, surrender does not mean passivity or detachment. No, if we're called to stand up for a truth or offer loving and compassionate service to those in need or suffering, then by all means we can serve the world that way. But we can also serve by following Gandhi's dictum, be the change you wish to see in the world. Does it seem that the world needs to be kinder, more compassionate, more peaceful? Then we can be those things. By changing it within ourselves, it will powerfully radiate ripples of positive energy out into the world, and the world will be changed. So whether we choose to serve by external action or by our internal spiritual work, both uplift mankind. And by the way, our own spiritual evolution also needs to be surrendered. We let go of the pace of our growth, the means of our awakening, the lessons along the way. We surrender diversions that are not truly essential to the path, like altered states of consciousness or techniques in schools of thought that are trying to create enlightenment or force it somehow. We leave it all up to God. As Dr. Hawkins says, out of an unrestricted love for God arises the willingness to surrender all motives except to serve God completely. To be the servant of God becomes one's goal rather than enlightenment. And it's actually through surrender that we learn the truth of what we are already. Dr. Hawkins teaches enlightenment is not a condition to be obtained, it's merely a certainty to be surrendered to, for the self with the capital S is already one's reality. Every moment of our life is a chance to grow spiritually because it gives us the chance to surrender and let go, to allow and accept what is just as it is. These are the powerful means to free ourselves from our triggers, from being hostage to negativity, from blocking the beautiful essence of our true nature. This last quote from Dr. Hawkins sums it up beautifully. One of the signs of acceptance is serenity. With acceptance, the struggle is over and life begins anew. He goes on, this consciousness level is one that we all long to achieve, for it enables us to find freedom from most of life's problems and to experience fulfillment and happiness. Our lovingness radiates out naturally from the essence of our being because we have many of the blocks to its awareness have been surrendered. And he says we thereby live in the infinite space of non-time. There's an infinite peace beyond description, and you are home. Let's take that into meditation. There's a song. Do you have a... Yep.
All right, if you want to just sing with me. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is everywhere, and every thought is a prayer.
Okay, everybody take a deep breath and release it. And if it's comfortable for you, you can close your eyes. Take a second to notice and relax any areas that are tense, the jaw, the belly, the shoulders. Just breathe. Putting your attention on your heart center, imagine a light is there. A warm, glowing, loving light. It's tender and gentle, yet you also sense its infinite power. Now imagine the light expanding. Its glow and warmth radiate throughout the body, down the arms, the legs, through the torso. The loving glow keeps expanding, eventually surrounding the whole body. And then it spreads out into the room and envelops everything and everyone. Just rest in this luminous, warm, love-filled light. Allow the body to dissolve and surrender into the one light, the light of the presence. Is there resistance? Are thoughts arising? Just notice and let go. Let go into the tenderness of the presence. it's completely safe to surrender into the true self, the light of God. It's what you are. All that's left is awareness. There's no separate you to be aware. You are awareness. In this space, there's nothing lacking, nothing needed, nothing wanted. All is complete, still, and at peace. Taking a deep breath, begin the journey back to the awareness of this room and the body. And as you return, and later as you move through your day, you can remain surrendered into and at one with the light that you are, the love that you are, the pure, infinite awareness that is your true self. And so it is. You can open your eyes.
Thank you, Courtney. That was so amazing. All right. Will you sing with me, please? May the blessings of God rest upon me. May God's peace abide in me. May God's presence illuminate my heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon you. May God's peace abide in you. May God's presence illuminate your heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon you. May God's peace abide in us. May God's presence illuminate our hearts now and forevermore. Now and forevermore. Oh, I love the harmonies. Thank you.
Well, yes, aren't we blessed? Courtney and Tanya, you have certainly blessed us. And now it's time for us to bless the world and this ministry, and we'll have our ushers come forward. And on our screen is our offering blessing. So together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
All right. Check. Awesome. So this is a song that I wrote when I was doing a lot of healing and surrendering myself, and it's called Unto Myself. Unto myself I forgive my past, I wipe it clean, it cannot last. unto myself. The future's here, I see it now. It is so clear. Hey, na, na, ho. Hey, na, ho. Hey, na, ho. Unto myself I forgive my shame. I wipe it clean, wash it away. Unto myself I honor you, the source of all. You are my truth. Hey, na, ho. Hey, na, ho. Hey, na, ho. What can I do to heal myself, to cleanse it all and feel what's felt? I'm going in to heal these wounds, to give them love, then reattune. Hey, na, ho. 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 Unto myself I honor you, the Holy One. You are my truth.
Well, again, thank you for sharing your musical talent with us. This beautiful soul has been a part of Unity. She served at Unity of Boulder and is now a neighbor of ours, so I think we'll see more of her in our community. So that's good. So don't forget to give us your comments about the service today. It's important that we have that input. Yes, Gerald. We're looking for a basket to put.
Set a basket on the table. As you leave, please just put your comments in the basket. They will be on the table as you're dropping off your name tags. You have them, or that way we'll get to collect them.
And our welcome team has reminded me there's cookies over there with coffee, so back in that corner in our new bookstore. So we certainly thank our welcome team for. And yes, is there anyone here that didn't get one of our welcome package? You're going to want one of these. You definitely do. So just raise your hand just a little bit, and our welcome team will provide one to you. The other part of this building, well, let me mention also, we have as many people sometimes online viewing our service as well we have people here in person. So we thank you folks online and trust that you enjoyed the service. And if you want to provide some comments, just send an email to office@unityfc.org, and we'll be glad to read them. Okay, I think in the other part of our building, we got a bunch of little lights, we call them. So let's have them come out and we'll sing them in together. I'm gonna let it shine. It's the light of mine.
I'm gonna let it shine. It's the light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Here on the corner of Lines and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine. Here on the corner of Lines and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine. Here on the corner of Lines and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This is you guys today, huh?
Would you like to say something about what you learned today?
We talked about the 5 unity principles.
Good. Good. Well, thank you. Well, I guess that does it. Another beautiful Sunday in Fort Collins, Colorado. So let's all circle up as we prepare for our peace song and our prayer of protection. So together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.